Okay, it tells me we are live. Let me check if that is true because I do not trust Facebook anymore.
You'll get banned.
We cannot say that. Okay, hold on a second. I have two screens just to not confuse anyone, and I just make sure that we are seen here. And I really have to check that because I do not see us in the group. So hold on. I check on
However,
my.
we are on your profile.
Yes, I can see that. Okay. However, I hope we are live in the group. And however, that's fine. It's fine. Okay. Today, I want to say hello, everyone who is watching. I have an amazing guest today here. She is the brand in the spotlight, Kim Weitkamp. And I say thank you for sharing your time with us and welcome to the brand in the spotlight.
Why, thank you, Janine. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you today now that everything is cooperating, right? Yay, technology.
My goodness, that was so exciting. And that is a good way to start because, I mean, that was the biggest favor Facebook could do us. It's like a wake up call and the best reason why you should have an email list, right?
Yes, so much yes. It was so amusing to me. I was actually in an event. So some people were freaking out. They're like, hey, Facebook went down. I was getting all these emails from other people. I'm on their list, right? They're like, hey, so what did you do when Facebook went down? I didn't have the time to send an email to my list because I was, running my business. But it's so fascinating because so many people I've met, they're like, oh yeah, I use insert social channel here to grow my business. And that's their entire plan. That's their entire business. Their whole business is built on a social platform. And the reality is that means you are on rented land that can be sold out from under you whenever they want.
Absolutely.
And it's never been more clear because Facebook went down on Tuesday, but LinkedIn was down as well for about an hour yesterday. So two major platforms, right? Most of us are hanging out there. I'm not anti-social. I think you should use it as part of your strategy, but ultimately you want to get them into your world where you control when you can communicate with them. And Google.
Absolutely. And the thing is that so many platforms are connected together because not only Facebook went down, also Instagram went down, also Messenger went down. And I'm not sure about WhatsApp if that was
Think WhatsApp
right.
stayed. I don't
Okay.
think it went down.
Okay, so I have to think about a backup plan because what I couldn't do is, first of all, I didn't know that it was for everyone. I was freaking out because I thought that Facebook kind of, blocked my account or, deleted my account. And I had no idea how to, because we wanted to make that interview on Tuesday. I didn't know how to connect you, how to contact you and tell you I have troubles coming in because I couldn't reach you on Instagram, I couldn't reach you on Messenger, and I sent you. That was the only open channel I had. I sent you an email. Email was working. I sent an email.
I did the reverse, right? I couldn't find your email because when we booked our initial call, it was through Calendly. So I had Calendly's email, but not yours.
Oh,
I searched your name. I couldn't find your email address anywhere. I actually reached out to you on LinkedIn, even though I was like, I don't think she's active here. She's got 20 connections, but I'm going to try.
okay.
So this is why it's so important, everyone. Have your contact information public where people can reach you.
Yeah.
Very important. Okay.
That is a great reminder, and I will do that right after this interview and leave my email address there so everyone can reach me if something is going on and we don't know, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, now let's dive into the topic of messaging and list building. So now we have a good reason. We know why it's so important to have an active email list and to grow the email list. And my first question to you is, what do you need in order to grow an email list? What is it what you need?
Such a great question. Such a great question. So, FYI, if you have not heard yet, Google and Yahoo changed the rules. What does that mean for you? It means you need to have a real email address to get started. If you're running a business, you should have a real email address anyway. What do I mean by that? I mean, you cannot send from at Gmail, at Hotmail, at Yahoo, at AOL. Those are not your business emails. Okay. If you want to use marketing and use email, then you need to have a real email address. Yahoo and Google have changed the rules. Already it was kind of against best practices, but now they're not going to let you send to a bunch of people if you're using a Gmail for business purposes, essentially. Okay, so first thing, set up your real email address. If you have a website, you have access to a real email address. You might have to go into some really weird login form on your cPanel or something to access it, but with your domain comes an email address. Okay? Ask a techie how to set that up if you don't know how. But that's not what we're here to discuss today because it's different for everybody. But have a real email address. Then have a way for people to say, yes, I want on your email address. I went on your email address. So another thing that's changed with the Google and Yahoo changes, but was already best practices. And I know you're in Europe, Shanine. So this was already kind of the law. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on this live. But basically, you want what we call permission. Permission-based marketing is the best thing, in my opinion, that's ever happened to the business world. Why? Because you're getting people who are raising their hand and saying, I'm actually wanting to hear from you. I give you permission to contact me, right? How many of us like get open our mailbox, our physical mailbox, right? And 90% of it were like trash, 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 because they are not required to get your permission to send a message. The same is not true for email. If you are using mass marketing online, you need permission. That means I have to give you my email address. Now, I don't know about you, Shanine, but my email's bombarded, right? I've got like 60,000 unread messages or something. So that means you want to be sending really great stuff, right? So number one, have a real email. Number two, have a way for people to join your email list. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. And number three, be kind to your email list. Send them good stuff. Don't send them crap. But those are the three things you need to get started, right? We're going to talk about lead magnets in just a moment. You obviously need to use some sort of tool as well. So have a system to send those mass emails. HubSpot, ConvertKit, Entreport, ActiveCampaign, System, Kajabi, Go High Level. Those are all things that have a tool for you to use email marketing. All of them have done the back end work to comply with Google and Yahoo's rules. And if you're sending what we call mass marketing emails, right? If you're sending one email to like 100 people who said, yes, I want to hear from you, that's a mass marketing email. That is the law in Europe. And it's basically the law in the US and Canada. Again, not a lawyer. Don't play one on this live, but it's best practices anyway. Because when people give you permission, you're not annoying them. And that's the first thing, right? People give you permission and they want to hear from you.
I love that aspect because just recently I've read a post and someone commented and said, I'm only doing the single opt-in and not the double opt-in because she's afraid that people will jump off that. But actually, do you really want to have people in your ecosystem that are kind of, yeah, take your freebie, but actually I do not really be in your, this is a double security kind for both of us. I mean, for me to make sure, okay, people really want to be here, and for the other person, they have to confirm and they can just reread everything and say, do I really want to be there? Or is it just, I'm taking it because it just popped up in my feed and actually I have no interest in. So I like the aspect that it's not only about, because we have the law here in Europe, it's really about making sure you have the people that really want to be in your world, in your system, right? So that's
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of double opt-ins. I've heard people say, oh no, it's going to cut down on sales. It's actually becoming a real security feature as well. You mentioned security briefly. Let me expand on that. If people sign up with a fake email address, it's probably a bot. And they use getting on your email list to attack software. right? So if you require them to double opt in, only people do that, right?
Yeah.
Only people do that. As you said as well, right? You don't want people who are only interested in the free stuff and not interested in the rest of what you have to offer, right? I know a lot of people who sign up with an email address specifically for free gifts. They never check it, right? They grab the gift and they never read it again. Maybe they don't even consume the gift. Most likely, if it's an email address you don't use frequently, they forget about it, right? So that's not really a true person on your list, right? It's a name, it's an email list, it's a real person, but it's not really a person that's of interest to you because you're not going to become a client for you.
Correct. Yeah. Can only agree. And before we go to the lead magnet, I want you to ask a few things, because you can build an email list from your website. So you can make a freebie for that, or you offer something and people coming in from that side, or you just have it on your website. So that means when people are on your email list and you do not have anything to promote, okay, we all know that we get the most emails when we want to promote something, and that is actually the time when we all get active on our email list because we want to use them, right? But what is with the time in between where you don't have anything to promote? How can you keep up, the interest for your topics? How can you keep that up?
Great question. So I'm going to describe a scenario for you and tell me if this feels good or not. You meet somebody at a party and they're like, "Oh man, you're a cool person. Let's connect and chat." You say, "Sure, yeah, let's connect and chat after the party." So you go and meet them and you connect and chat. And they're like, "Hi, so excited you're here. Here's the thing to buy from me." And then the next time you talk to that person, they're like, "Hi, so excited you're here. Here's the thing to buy from me." And the next person you talk to them, you're like, "Hi, so excited you're here. Have you bought my thing yet?" That's what happens on the other end if you only send when you have a promotion. How does that feel? You were making faces, Shanine, so I'm thinking not great. How does it feel?
Not good.
Not good. And that's the default, right? Most of us are like, "Well, I don't have anything to sell on my list right now. I don't want to bother them." But that's the wrong mindset to have. The right mindset to have is, how can I help my people today? So when you email them with an offer, you're like, "Here's how I can help you today. I've got a program. I think it's beneficial for you if you're looking for A, B, and C," right? If you don't have an offer right now, you're like, "Hey, this is my expertise. This is what I do. So let me talk about A, B, and C." Right? Lead generation, marketing strategy, messaging, those are my things. So I'll send an email, be like, "Hey, you know what? Got a great messaging lesson today." Right? My mother sent me an email and I opened it. How is that a messaging lesson? Well, let me explain to you. My mom sent it. So you know what? I'm opening it. Mom sends me an email, right? I talk to my mother almost every day on the phone or something. So it's like, if mom sends me an email, it's probably important. So I'm going to open it. Okay, what does that mean for your business? It means you want to become one of those people that when you send an email, people are like, "Oh, this is always great. I got to open it." Right? That's a great messaging lesson. And I have an email in my system right now that tells that story. So it's still valuable. It's still, really strong and important for my people. But most importantly, I didn't sell anything, but I established my authority. I established I'm a human being. I built the know, like, and trust factor. I gave value, and it wasn't very long. It was probably about 500 words. So there you go. That's how you connect and communicate with your people, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust, which means they buy from a person.
Yeah.
Right? A real live person. What does that mean? It means the more you come across as a person in your emails, the more likely people are to actually want to interact, engage from you.
Would you then kind of mix your information? Because I like the idea, or I like that image with the party when you get to know people, and then there is a point where you know them already, so you don't have to introduce every time, and so you come up with probably a personal story. Is that is related to your business? Of course. Do people really read that?
Do people read it? I think so. So here, we're veering off, right, from lead generation and more into email strategy right now. But really quickly, I tell everyone to have a welcome series. What is that? It's a
Mhm.
series of 5 to 7 emails to build the know, like, and trust factor as strangers. At the end, you treat everyone the same, right? They've gone through the process. They know who you are. They know your story. And then you don't need to reinforce it every time. Now, it might be that, you're sending an email and you're like, hey, if you don't recall, I've got 5 dogs, and let me tell you a funny story about them.
Mhm.
Right? I don't have 5 dogs. But uh, that's the type of thing where the welcome series purpose is to get to know you, to establish the relationship. And then beyond that, you just assume everyone knows. And they know because they did at least get the email. Whether or not they opened it is out of your control. But they know who you are. They know why you're in their inbox, and they can choose to interact or not.
Okay, that's great. Um, and well, the other part that gets leads in, of course, is what you probably like to introduce to us. It's a lead magnet. What is, for the one, I know we assume that everyone knows what is a lead magnet, but it's not true. Some just don't know it. They have set up a website and they think it's enough to invite people to their list from the website, but they don't have really a lead magnet. So what is a lead magnet? How would you describe that?
Lead magnet. So glad you asked that question. So I actually like to start most of these trainings with a vocabulary lesson so that we're all on the same page. Right. A lot of people use the word lead magnet, lead generation, email marketing, and it has a lot of different definitions. So here's my definition, right? My definition of a lead magnet is it's an invitation to your ideal client to learn more about you and what you do.
Okay.
So the inside of it's going to be different depending on who you are, but the purpose of your lead magnet is to invite, hey, you know what? I think I can help you. Why don't you come into my world and let's continue the conversation? So when you view a lead magnet as an invitation, you're going to treat it differently, right? If you view
Okay.
it as an invitation, you're going to put thought into it. You're going to take some time to establish it, right? Very few of us, or at least me, I'm an introvert, right? So I don't do this, but very few of us are going to like call up a friend and be like, hey, I'm having this party in 10 minutes. You should so show up. I really want you here. And my thought is, it's 10 minutes away. Like, you didn't think to invite me, yesterday at least, or a couple of hours notice, right? Same thing happens with lead magnets. A lot of people treat it as an afterthought. Oh, I was told I need something to get people onto my list, so let me throw something together. No, you want to create a curated, custom, and welcoming experience for these people because they will become your clients. The only people you want to join your list are those who will become clients, or those who are at least part of your audience who can become clients, right? There's a lot of emphasis in lead generation placed on size of list. You need more people, you need more people, you need more people. You don't need more people, especially if you have a high ticket offer, right? If you're selling for something for over $5,000, you don't need 150 clients. I mean, you can if you want,
Mm.
but you don't need that many,
You need
right?
the
If
right
20 to reach 100K, if I'm doing my math right, I think so. Yeah, you need 20 to reach 100K. So you don't need a list of 50,000 people. What you need is the right people on your list. So when you think of a lead magnet, I want you to think of it as, how can I invite my ideal person into my world? What do they need to know? What can I do with that? So that's what a lead magnet is. Now, on the side of like what it is structurally, right? It's a gift. It's a PDF. It's a download. It's a video series. It's a mini course. It's a checklist. It's a quiz. Those are all potential lead magnets. Okay. It doesn't really matter what format you use. It depends on like what you sell, who your audience is, where they're at. Those are all potential options. Okay. But the goal is to invite your ideal person into your world.
Fantastic. And I have really a question about the lead magnet
Okay.
that I
Let's
am
answer
working
them.
on. And that is, how much effort should you put into creating that it's really a valuable something that people
Mhm.
need, but also into that first, the first few words or the first sentence to actually gain attention and to say, this is something very interesting for you, and now you can, continue reading the rest. But that first headline, however you call that I see in a post or in, on the landing page, so people know, it should, on the headline be already the outcome, so people know what it's all about? Or should there be something that say, oh, that is interesting and I want to continue reading the rest? What is your opinion on that?
Okay, so you mentioned a whole bunch of things in that question.
Okay,
So
sorry.
I want to clarify. Are you talking about the gift itself? Are you talking about the page to get the gift? Or are you talking about the promotion to understand there is a gift?
Yeah, correct. Good question. I probably meant both.
All right. So here's the thing, right? The reason I asked this question, and it was a fantastic question, Shanine. The reason I asked for clarification is because a lot of people put emphasis on the lead magnet itself, right? For ease of use, let's just say it's a PDF download. Okay, it's a PDF, it's a guide, right? It's a guide. A lot of people make guides. And I get a lot of questions about, well, what should the title of my guide be? That's the wrong question.
Okay.
The wrong question is, what problem do I fix? And the question to ask before that is, who is the right person for this offer? Okay, so you need to work backwards. So, for example, I sell a workshop, right? I have a boot camp. It's 2 days. People can create their leads on autopilot process. So the problem that is solved by my boot camp is I don't have time or I don't know how to get more quality leads. That's the problem. I don't know how to get more quality leads. So I have a gift on how to create a high converting lead magnet guide. And it's for people who want more high quality leads, right? So in order for you to choose the right topic, in order for you to choose the right title of your lead magnet, you need to think of the right person, the right challenge, and then create the topic from there. So that all ties into the full funnel, right? Because people don't just find our lead magnet. They don't Google what is Shanine's lead magnet, right? That's not a thing that they're going to do.
Would be nice.
Instead, they're going to find it what I like to call in the wild, right? Especially like on social media, right? They're going to see a post, be like, oh, that sounds interesting. They're going to go to a page, be like, yep, that's what I want. And then they're going to put their email address in. So you've actually had 3 other conversion points before the person even downloads the gift, right? See the social post, say yes. See the landing page, say yes. Put in their email address. Then find the email, open it, click confirm, and then consume. Right? So do you see how many steps are there before we talk about what's inside the lead magnet? So those are all the things you want to think about before creating what you're going to create.
That is so amazing, because that is probably the biggest struggle a lot of people have, that are just not in that, because we are, as an expert, of course, completely in our topic, but we have to learn how to promote our things, how to bring people in, how make it interesting. So, like, I'm the best example probably, because in my business it's all about the visual and it's nothing about the text. And of course, I know the value of a good packaging, but I mean, you can package as well as you want. You need to have first a content for that. So you need to have a good program for that, and you need to know how you attract people to take a second look. So it's for me, it's always both, but I really struggle. That is why I'm so happy that you are here. I really struggle to kind of phrase my message in a way that people find it interesting. I'm always starting from my point, and sometimes I forget what people know and they don't know what I know. And sometimes I forget to see, the other side. And then I sound super generic and super, kind of marketing speech like that. I don't
Mm.
want that. I want to become personal. I want to attract people. I want to, create phrases and messages that is so attractive. I mean, when I think of myself, what I jump in, then it's super clear we all have that we see a post and we think, I have to, leave everything aside because I want to know what's going on here. Kind of sometimes clickbait or so, but you still hop into that. Yeah. The three biggest kind of, I don't know, wins, failures, whatever. And what is your trick to really my question? I really want to know that. What is your trick and your tip on how to make a headline or a post sound really as if you talk to someone and say, hey, and we two have a conversation, but it's not too long. It's not the whole story. It's just in a few words. I think that's an art. That is an art that I don't know. So
It is
you
most
got it.
definitely an art. It is most definitely an art, and I actually have a 3-hour training on it. So
Wow.
I'm gonna try and give like a really short answer. And the short answer is ask your audience.
Okay. How?
That's the answer. How? So you've identified who your audience is. See where they're hanging out, see what they're already saying,
Okay.
and use their language.
It's not so easy, right? I hear that very often.
You
It's
know,
just not easy. You can't believe it. It's really not easy.
it's not, super simple, right? But here's the thing to remember, right? Messaging is an art, as you said, right? And there are people like me. I've been doing this for 10 years. Okay, I bring 10 years of experience to this. And when people ask me, well, what's the best way to write a headline? There is no simple answer because you have to know where is this headline, right? Is this a subject line in an email for somebody who's been on my list for 3 years?
Mhm.
Is this a title of a lead magnet? How am I using that lead magnet? Where is it going to be promoted? How are people finding it? What kind of person are they? Who is it for? Where are they in the client experience journey? Where are they in the stage of awareness journey? Those are all things you have to consider before you write the headline, right? So there's not I mean, I could tell you, right? Like, okay, so write a headline that calls out to your ideal audience and piques their curiosity. Can't say the word today. Piques their curiosity. Absolutely. You want to do that, right? But there's so much more research and understanding that goes into that. So that's one of the reasons why I put my boot camp together, right? Because it's an involved process and it's not something a lot of people find easy to do for themselves, right? We can do it for others, but for ourselves often it's really difficult because I love this phrasing. Somebody said it's hard for you to read the label inside the jar. You're inside your business, so you can't read the ingredients that are missing on the label, right? You're inside. It's hard. So that's why I have the boot camp in the first place. And it's 2 days to get it done. That's the key piece is you want to get it done. And a lot of us push it off, right? We push it off. Like even when it comes to our ideal client, for example, I'll ask people, who's your ideal client? Oh, women. Okay. So that's 3.5 billion people, I think. Which one of them do you want me to introduce you to? Like the next question I would ask is like, okay, so as long as they're over 18, like that's a woman, right? Okay, no? Oh, you need more detail. Okay, so what kind of woman? Oh, well, a woman who, right? Women who want to lose weight. Awesome. I think the diet industry is worth like $90 billion or something. So again, that's really, really broad. Oh, well, I work with postpartum women who want to regain their pre-baby body in less than 90 days. Okay, now I know who you work with. I can find that person for you. Or I can't because I don't actually know anyone who fits that. But like, no, that makes sense to me. Now I have a picture in my head of who you actually work with. And that's the type of detail you want to have when creating your lead magnet. Who is it that you serve? Business owners, it's too broad. Who do you serve? And I want to add this little piece too. You don't serve companies.
Mm-hmm.
You do not serve companies. Why? Because a company does not say hello to you and does not sign your check.
Yeah.
Somebody in the company does. So who in the company do you want to work with? Who in the company do you want to talk to? That's where you're going to start.
That's great. That is great. So, Kim will. Yes, for all who are watching the replay, doesn't matter. Kim will post and drop the link to her boot camp in the comments. I highly recommend it. I really recommend it, because there is where you do the work, right? It's not just you are talking and everyone is listening. You really do the work. You really come up with your headlines, with your posts, with your message, right? And you help them create a really attractive message for the right people. That's so important, to really attract and target the right people.
Absolutely. Happening.
Did you drop that? I mean, you can do that afterwards. So
yeah. So that should be good. Yes, absolutely. It's so important. And I really want to make sure we're able to fully answer all of your questions, Janine. So the important thing to remember is for any marketing, not just lead magnets, right? When you write an email, when you put something on your website, when you put it on social media, the first question for you to ask, who am I talking to? And you'll notice that who am I talking to changes, right? On your website, it's a different person than on your email list. Why? Because they know more about you, right? Your email list knows more about you than a person on your website. Most likely on the website, you came up in a Google search result, or somebody's like, oh, you should go check them out. They don't know anything about you. But the messaging you use for somebody who's been on your list for a year, or for someone who's already bought from you, you still market to them. But the messaging is different. So the first piece, every time you sit down to create marketing, is who am I talking to today? And you want to be clear on who that is.
That's fantastic, because I'm pretty sure that not a lot of people think about that. They come out and
It's true.
Here's my package. How can I, package it, and how can I put a great sounding message on that? And sometimes it's not clear enough. Sometimes it's not attractive enough. And okay, so we can learn that in your bootcamp. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So overview for anyone who's interested, the bootcamp is very much get it done. All right. I'm not a fan of you're going to show up for 3 days and then you're going to leave with a checklist of 72 items to get done in the next 15. Like that's not possible, right? I think all of us are a little bit too busy to do that. So when you come, it's get it done. You do it during the bootcamp. So this is not a drop in, drop out event, right? I actually had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, well, can I just come to the second day? And I was like, well, the first day is everything you need to make the second day happen. So not necessarily going to work well for you, right? So here's what we do. We help you identify who is the ideal person for this lead magnet. You know that. Then we help you figure out what is the topic that you really need to cover. Then you create your lead magnet. You write it. Okay, you write it. Then we create every other piece of the funnel, right? Most of us, we have a gift, but we don't think about the page they use to get the gift. That's called an opt-in page, right? We don't think about, well, how am I going to share this so people know it exists? We create all of those. And we talked a little bit about the importance of having an email and having that double opt-in email that you talked about, Janine. We create that too. Right? We create all the pieces. So when you leave after 2 days, it just needs to go into your system.
And I have to say, and that is that is the big jump or the big difference. Yes, it's a paid boot camp, 197, as I read. Is that correct? But
That
I
is
think
correct, yes.
that is an investment you should really do, because that saves you. On the other hand, it saves you so much time, stress, or it saves you to hire someone. We all need to learn that for our daily work. It's not only that you hire someone for your website and then that's it. We have to learn that. It's part of our business, how to message to people. So it's a really a good investment. And the outcome is so amazing. The outcome is something that you need for your daily work, that you need to promote, that you need to get clients in so that you can then make money. Yeah. And then you have
Absolutely.
investment back.
And you get it done. You also get feedback, right? There's hot seating opportunities after every piece that we create. So, I'm a big fan. Like, a lot of us work alone, right? A lot of us are solopreneurs. We're working by ourselves. It's hard to create something for yourself and then be like, well, I'm the only pair of eyes. I think it looks okay. Hopefully it's right. You get feedback from other people. You get feedback from me. So you're not alone in the process. 2 days, get it done, get it finished. And I put into the link, and I want to share here as well. I do this, the next one's next week. If you're not able to come next week, though, claim your ticket, contact me, because there's another one coming up in May and the price is going up. So if you want to claim this opportunity, I will happily move you to a future event. I run it a few times a year, but I want to make sure that you have the ability to get this done. It's so important, because if you want to partner with people, if you want to build an email list, if you want to promote your business, you need a way to get them into your world. And the easiest method is to have a lead magnet. Once it's there, it runs, right? One of my clients, she came to this boot camp, and within 30 days, she had her first ever pay in full client.
Wow, that's great.
And she didn't know where they came from.
What?
She had been running her business by doing free coaching calls.
Okay.
Doing referrals, talking to people, inviting them to a coaching call. They weren't converting very well because she had the wrong people on the other end, right? So she put this in place. It ran while she did other things in her business. The right person found it. The right person said yes. The right person signed up. And the right person was like, where do I give you my credit card?
Wow.
30 days. Who wants an ideal fit client ready to pay in full in the next 30 days? When you do this right, it works.
Okay, then let's follow Kim Weitkamp. Amazing amazing expert in copywriting, in messaging, in list building. And I can only invite everyone, click on the link, get your infos there, and get the chance to really take action. I love that you take action there. It's not just I jump in and that's another information and then I leave it aside. It's really implementing. I'm such a big fan of implementing. So I absolutely love workshops like that. And you have a result by the end and you have your clients coming in. So what do you want more? I mean, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll go ahead and drop as well. If you aren't ready, or if you just want to get into my world, I'll drop my lead magnet, which is the Stranger Subscriber Checklist. It lists out everything you need to create to move someone from stranger to a subscriber on your email list. It lists all of the pieces of copy and marketing assets you need.
Amazing. Please drop all the information in the comments. Once we are done now, you can go there, and everyone who is watching live or watching the replay, please do not miss that. That it's an amazing opportunity. And I think time is 40 minutes. I mean, and it was really, really fully packed with information. I say thank you, Kim, so much. Thank you for coming, for sharing your time, and for sharing your expertise here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Shanini. It was a lot of fun. I always love chatting about this.
It's true. Okay, then I say thank everyone for watching and take action. Bye.
Bye.